brand new year, same old crap. It's us. It's US Fan TV. It's on. We're on at 9 tonight, and that's going to be the time because it's easier for us to do. We got kids, and they need to go to bed. So 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. You can do the math from there. Is going to be the new time of this show. It's an hour later than we used to do it, but it's a new year. We can change the time. We can do what we want. This is US Fan TV. We talk about soccer as it relates to the United States. I am Pat.
Everybody needs another hour to drink leading up to the show, which makes us more tolerable.
Well, it makes you more tolerable.
And we also have TJ, who is talking over Chris. I want to open tonight with the most important thing that's happened in our two. We were off for a couple weeks for Christmas and New Year's and whatever. The most important thing, was that a 10-foot rim?
I think so.
You think it was?
I mean, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because what I'll say is normally what's like when you see a short hoop, it's like 8 feet, right? And I mean, like a 5'10" guy wouldn't really even have to get off the ground to reach an 8-foot hoop.
No, I can tell you I can dunk
get
on
about
8 foot
2 inches
easily. I do it all the time at my son's basketball practice. He has 8-foot rims because he's small. I could probably dunk on 8.5. I know Christian Pulisic's about the same height as me. I may be a touch taller than him. And he's a way better athlete than me. So that I don't know that it was 10. I mean, maybe it wasn't, but I know it was probably more than 9. What do you guys think? Yeah, Dominic says maybe 9 foot, maybe 9'5". Maybe.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the picture right now.
The way I looked at it was, who puts a rim at 9.5 feet?
That's
like
10.
Once you pass 8, you just go to 10 because what's the point? What's the point of a 9-foot rim?
But to be fair, looking at it, the backboard doesn't look like a regulation backboard, so it looks like the old Nerf hoop we used to have on our bedrooms on steroids. It really does that way. Although I'm looking at kind of like
we're talking about Mr. Pulisic. If you don't know, he put an Instagram video up of him dunking with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang doing and one mixtape style commentary. It's pretty funny. It's on his Instagram. It's everywhere at this point. But yeah, Kellen Acosta immediately gave him shit, saying, "No way, that's an 8-foot rim." It's not an 8-foot rim. I think it's more than that, but I don't know.
What I like is he then called out Acosta with Acosta's comment about the guy.
Yes, that was funny.
Like saying something like, "You look like the kind of guy who,
ask for an autograph
shit and then ask for an autograph."
And that's true. There's so many dudes like that. Just the internet tough guy, and then they meet the person and they're excited. So
he was like, "You look like the kind of guy who calls an 8-foot rim and then asks you for an autograph or something like that." I was like, "That's good."
All right, so tonight
shows a side of like camaraderie between them. I like that some of our young players may actually be friends.
It's nice. Yeah, it makes you want to cheer for them. The fact that they seem to be, I don't know, friendly with each other, and the fact that they also seem to get it. Like they get social media. They're not dumb. It makes it easier to cheer for a person who's not dumb.
I just want to know who's all watching us and not Hannity tonight. Like POTUS requested for us all to do.
Yeah, he demanded we do that, and I don't know why. I don't know what he's got. He also threatened nuclear war again tonight. So,
well, again, I think
what's new.
I think of a Republican version of my parents, and it really is. It's not much different. So, all right, let's move on.
So we're gonna do. I've got questions for you guys. It is a new year. I got questions for you guys, and we can get everyone's predictions on different things that may or may not happen this year, or names of people who might win things or get jobs or whatever. We also have to talk about the article that you two were arguing about on Twitter. Do we want to get that out of the way first?
We can. I mean, I wasn't even necessarily saying I was like totally in agreement with this article. I just found it was interesting that somebody's coming up with an idea for how to make MLS and its schedule and its play and whatever more like most of the rest of the world.
And,
first of all, where was the article? Was it Stars and Stripes?
Stars and Stripes, yes.
Okay,
okay, good. I was going to say I don't remember now.
I have it up.
Whoever we're talking about, so
I have it up on my other screen. So let me see if I can. You know what? I'll link it and I'll throw it in the chat section. So
look at that. That's something we should be doing.
Boom.
And you guys make fun of TJ.
Well, it's the easiest target. I would do too.
It's deservedly, but
yes, it really is. I can't argue any of that.
But one of the things mentioned in the article is that a way that you could have a sort of promotion and relegation without really having a promotion and relegation, like a way that maybe you could get MLS to agree to it, is there, all the MLS teams are MLS teams, but then there are, say, 4 spots where teams can be moved up and play in MLS, and those 4 teams can move up and down, but the other MLS franchises stay put. This seems like a stupid idea to me.
And here I'm gonna have to link it. Sorry, I'm gonna link it to the Twitter feed because the comment section won't let me paste a link. It doesn't like it for some reason. Probably because all we would get is porn chats, and I know Chris would appreciate that. But that said, it's an idea that's not workable. Okay, so you're basically kind of saying that it's like 4 guest teams come in every year and relegate, correct?
I think that's certainly I think the weakness to it is that to some extent, you're planning on figuring out a way for some teams to almost, well, I guess agree or accept that they could come in and out or something, and that's where ultimately I think that's always the flaw in this. What I found interesting about this, I guess in general, was that at least it wasn't, I don't know, the most basic idea that everyone just seems to have this idea of, oh, well, we'll just institute it. And it's like, as we've discussed many times, the problem with that becomes, but there are a bunch of NFL owners, effectively, who have invested in these teams who don't want to do that.
Aren't going to put up with that.
They have too much money and too much power to accept that. So you have to find a way to, if you're going to, attempt to come up with an idea here, some workaround there. And I like that at least someone's coming up with ideas.
Right.
I don't necessarily agree with it either. I think it's still, it's sort of like my feeling about like pro rel period is, it's one of those things that has to happen at a grassroots level because you can't really institute it after the fact because nobody wants to have the chance that this thing they invested millions of dollars in could suddenly lose its value.
It's not going to happen unless they're forced to. And the only way they can be forced to that I can see is that FIFA mandates it and whatever legal
there has
arguments
to be something from the outside because ultimately the owners have too much power within MLS. They own MLS. And then on top of it, because of they kind of own U.S. soccer.
Right.
Well, and then let me kind of take you guys down a little bit. This is Uncle TJ going to give a quick history lesson and do all that kind of fun stuff.
History lesson.
Yeah, pretty much. So what's the point of single entity? Let's start with that question. I mean, that's everybody sits there and says, oh, it's one company. They don't compete against each other, which is the biggest crock of shit ever. And the reason why it's the biggest crock of shit ever is because you have egos that are massive. Like you said, most of these guys are NFL owners. These are multimillionaires and billionaires. You don't get to that way without either inheriting a shit ton of money and then you wind up like Chevy Chase and Caddyshack, or you're a competitive motherfucker. It's just that's how this works.
Or Chevy Chase in real life.
Well, that could be too, because he really wasn't funny. That said, the reason why it's done is to keep collusion from being illegal, or to solve the collusion problem. And I think it's Pat, 20 years ago when baseball had to pay out almost $1 billion in fines for trying to collude, where they were suppressing the free agent market, so on and so forth. Well, MLS solved that problem. They're one company. That's why they own all the contracts. That's why and it's done for collective bargaining reasons. That way they can say, hey, this is what we're offering this guy. And that was done to keep somebody from blowing their budget and going outside the margins or anything like that. And in the early days that worked. And that's why they're putting in more things like TAM and all the other acronyms that I don't give two flying fucks about, but they exist, that they're giving money out, is so they can have some leeway to work with that. But it was originally done to keep collusion legal within the system. That was why it was done, so that they couldn't run themselves into the ground where you have one guy starting an arms race, you know, kind of like the Yankees or the Red Sox, where they spend a ton of money.
Yeah, they didn't want the Cosmos problem again. It's
correct.
Yeah, but now it seems like that is almost holding them back in some ways. I don't think the general public wants pro rel as much as soccer Twitter wants pro rel, but it does seem to me that soccer is more popular in this country than MLS.
That's absolutely. I mean, all the numbers show that. Yeah,
and absolutely. So MLS needs to do more to
go to your local bar on a Saturday or Sunday morning, and then go during an MLS game.
Yeah, exactly. Or and that goes with the Mexican League too. I mean, it's MLS is maybe the 5th most popular league in America, and it does okay attendance wise in most places, and great in some areas, but from a as a TV sport, it's not a popular league. So
and that kind of goes even into the next thing. Okay, so I did like the idea that, at least like you guys have been saying, this was an idea outside the box. I think ultimately the way pro rel will get implemented, if it does, is there's going to have to be a buy-in fee of some sort. So these owners that have already bought their franchises for 150 whatever million dollars. So when you're doing pro rel, it's going to cost you 30 million or 50 million to come in for that first year. And if you get relegated, and that goes towards the parachute payment for the other side. That's ultimately how it's going to have to work in some capacity. Now, did this one call for to switch to the winter calendar and take a 2-month break like Germany and all that bullshit?
Yeah, I think they were also talking about something like that, because that's all part of Winalda's kind of grand plan. I mean, he wants us on a general normal FIFA calendar and has voiced support for pro rel. And in many ways, I kind of looked at this article as, how could we enact what Eric Winalda has brought up as potential futures for U.S. soccer?
Now, does Eric Winalda think that he's just going to walk in as president, if he wins the presidency at day one, and just go, hey, let's put these rules in place. You don't have a choice. Is that what he thinks is actually? Is that what?
So. I can't say that he doesn't. I mean, I think that's why we've always kind of seen him as sort of the opposition candidate, and that's why he's, in a sense, he's just a wild card. Like, you don't really know. You don't know yet. Could he settle down and kind of be a serious president? Even a serious candidate? Can he? Will he always sort of be that Winalda? That kind of renegade, runs his mouth, just going to do something, and lets the chips fall as they may.
Does he understand he answers to a board? Does he understand how a nonprofit works? I'm actually curious to what you guys think with that.
I don't think he's dumb. I think he
probably, he's certainly not stupid.
And I think a lot of I don't really understand why he's running a public campaign, because this election is not public. So, I mean, publicly he seems to be the front runner, but that means nothing, because we haven't heard from most of the voters. And so but he seems to be the most public of the campaigners. So maybe he's got a lot of support, maybe he has very little, but you've seen a little bit of state associations and things like that backing him. But I think he seems like a smart enough guy to know the difference between the bluster that he's putting out there and saying things for show to gain popularity and the reality. Does he really though? This is the same guy that decided he was going to go screw John Harkes' wife right before the World Cup. Well, that was Harkes.
No, that was the other way around. Harkes did that to his wife.
Whatever. So maybe we do need John Harkes to help this election. This is also the same guy that decided he was going to try and run the Atlanta Silverbacks from LA. I mean,
that was odd. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder if the family issue is going to come into play for being USSF president too.
Does he understand that a nonprofit, as much as you think you're running it, even if you're the president, CEO, or whatever, is really driven by the people who are donating their money? I mean, because USSF is technically it's a nonprofit,
and in this case, that's Nike. So
it's a very heavily profitable nonprofit organization.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous joke.
But if Nike decides, or whoever, any one of the big sponsors, and I believe Home Depot is one of them. I believe they show up on the boards most of the time. Now you're talking Arthur Blank. It says, yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Do you really want to keep going down that road if you're talking
you're not going to win
tens and 20s of millions of dollars where they're going to go?
You're not going to win before they exhaust you financially. And it's not to say I think I would like it. I would like it. I would enjoy the fact that, some second division team can work its way up and potentially win MLS Cup. But here's the thing, as you've pointed out, TJ, many times, you're going to see soccer going the other way soon, especially with the Champions League level teams in Europe. They've talked a lot about one giant league,
and they've gotten close to it. I believe it's AC Milan and Juventus and Inter that are the ones that are trying to drive this to close off Europe. But again, and especially in the United States, you're talking the TV market, and I keep coming back to that over and over again when I do rant and rave on it.
Yeah.
Are you really going to turn on an Indy 11 Colorado Rapids match on ESPN or Fox? Or
along those same lines, when MLS goes to sell the deal to ESPN, and let's say Chicago or New York or Los Angeles are not there,
or potentially may not be there even.
Yeah, the TV people are going to go no, and they don't care if
it's funny
Middlesbrough gets relegated, but they do here. It's because of local audiences. So,
I mean, how much does soccer? I get soccer Twitter talks all this. Oh, it'd be great to watch somebody like the Cosmos and their 9,000 seat minor league baseball park. Do they think that people are gonna, like I said, are they gonna watch any of that? Do they think that? Do they actually watch it? I mean, you go on YouTube or whatever and look at how many people tune in on some of these games, these early round Open Cup games. These guys that are great pro rel, all the little guys, Christos this and Harpo's that, and there's 20 people.
You've got a Harpo's scarf behind you, and you've got a Tim Rowdy's jersey on as you say all this.
I do, and wait, I'm the one that'll have 4 screens.
Nobody likes lower division soccer more than you. So.
Oh, there's a couple, but there ain't many.
Soccer hipster.
By the way, I saw that Minneapolis City FC, is that the team? They've got a Paul Bunyan plaid and flannel type jersey.
And it's pink.
It's pink? You own it already?
I do not own it. I put it on my Christmas list. Figured, hey, somebody will get it. And I didn't get it. So no.
Somebody out there, buy that for TJ, please.
It's actually second on my list of jerseys to get yet. So,
all right. Should I ask you guys some questions and you can debate as to what will happen
hold on.
Boom, we are master debaters.
Okay, well, Christian's asked this, I think, 3 times, so I want to hit this one before we get into it. It's what do you guys think about Galati and Garber lobbying for Kathy Carter despite them publicly denying it? The same as I think about
you expect nothing less?
The two douches from NASL paying for Winaldo's campaign. I don't give a fuck. I really don't.
Well, yes.
It annoys my Twitter timeline. That's all it does. I don't really give a fuck about any of this stuff. When I come down to it and Pat, I'm going to go to you as much, and Chris, I assume you're in the same boat. You're a soccer parent. You're a soccer coach. I'm a soccer referee as well. None of this shit means a goddamn thing to me as a parent, as a referee, as a coach. It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck. Stop clogging my timeline with these nuances. I just don't fucking care. It's starting to annoy the piss out of me. All right, I'm done.
Really?
First question then. Who wins the USSF presidential race?
Who do I want to win, or who do I think's going to win?
We're predicting here.
Who wins? Kathy Carter. Ooh, shit.
Shit. Yes, Kathy Carter's going to win. Because, like we said, it's not a public race. It's a private race, and although I think Eric Winaldo is running a great public campaign, I don't know that privately the support is there that he needs. But I do think that he's.
I think Winaldo and Martino both have great public races. Paul Caligiuri has great things to say. I've liked most of the things most of the candidates have had to say, but
if it's not Kathy Carter, if it's not Kathy Carter, it's going to be Eric. It's going to be Kyle Martino. It's not going to be Eric Winaldo. I'm pretty sure.
I think Kyle's more palatable for certain people than he's a
Solo with the upset.
Hope so.
And that's what I want. I want Hope Solo with the upset, but I think it's Kathy Carter or Kyle Martino. I don't think when all this
comes down to King of the Hill. Comes down to King of the Hill. There will be Queen of the Hill.
Jules, your question, any rumors on the new manager? is timely because my next question is, who's the next manager going to be?
Tab Ramos.
I'm going to say Juan Carlos Osorio.
I think Osorio has a better chance than Tab. I think Peter Vermees has a better chance than Tab. I think if Tab was going to get it, he would have gotten it
already
a month ago, 2 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was certainly positioned for it, but I think their plan was, okay, we'll do something for this next cycle, and you'll have them maybe in 2023 or something.
Well, fine. Then I'm going for a dark horse.
Maybe.
Then I'm going to go for a complete dark horse. Chris Combs.
Woohoo!
He's got to do his licenses.
No, he doesn't. He just needs to drink and drive.
I just feel like Tab, like I said, would have already gotten it. Either he backed out or they're not giving it to him. I expect there's not going to be a new coach until after the World Cup. That's not true. I expect there's going to be one probably by May. But I hope there's not one until after the World Cup, at which point I hope we're looking at more ideas people and not just a manager for the minute.
Caleb Porter, Jurgen Klinsmann. Could you imagine?
Look, I won't fault. I mean, Caleb Porter has done great stuff in MLS. And great stuff at the college level. But I don't know if he has the resume yet that we want to give him perhaps a blank slate of a future. I think you need someone with some kind of international background and some sort of track record to point to. I have no specific candidate in mind. I mean,
LVG.
The people I've brought up in the past, people I've brought up in the past.
I like to have the strange sex, yes.
Wenger.
I love the kinky
people
sex.
I've brought up in the past that
Arsene Wenger,
that I think could do it, are all based on who the current players are or were, most recent players were. And I think we have to look at what do we have in our future player pool and who can maximize that talent rather than judging on what we've done in the past. So I think you look at, the November players. I think you look at who gets called up and granted it's MLS, so some of that's a wash, but you see, what players do in January, and then you look at what these guys do in the pre-World Cup friendlies, and I think then you make your decision on what the future holds and who you need to shape those players for that future.
Logical decision.
Holy shit, Chris with sound reasoning. This just doesn't happen very often. Arsene Wenger.
Are we going to win over the heart and mind, because we can't cap tie him, of Jonah Gonzalez?
I think if Mexico doesn't get him by June, he's out.
That's what we've talked about. Yes, it's if he doesn't take their invitation to the World Cup.
Yeah, as I've seen some people discussing here, does he have? What is his role in, say, this future team? I don't know. I mean, you have to hope it's something like a 8-10 somewhere in there, or somewhere in kind of maybe a 6 or something, somewhere in central midfield behind Christian Pulisic.
Yeah.
Maybe you're looking in between Weston McKennie and Christian Pulisic.
I got a feeling he'll
in which
end
case
up with
you're looking
Mexico.
at him as maybe like an 8. I don't know. But so in that regard, it's hard to say where exactly he fits because he does overlap with 2 guys who probably are ahead of him on our list already. But it's not a bad problem to have when you got too many good guys who fit into central midfield positions. So, I don't know where he fits right now, but we're also looking at a make-believe future right now. You know, we're still shaping that future. So if he doesn't have a role right now, who cares? What is Kellen Acosta's role right now if, say, Weston McKennie takes off? Where does Kellen Acosta fit in there? Can you move him out to the left? Because hey, that guy's looked good in his time for the U.S. for the most part. I mean, he's had some down games, but he's definitely shown serious potential. So how do you slot him in? You know, but we're not worried about, well, where does he fit in here? I think we need to, over the next like 6 months, really look at what are our possibilities? What are our strengths going to be if we start projecting them? And then you think about where do guys fit. And that's the new manager's job. So that was a way of not answering the question, I guess. You know, what do I think of Jonathan Gonzalez? Let's hope Mexico doesn't get him by May.
That's the question on that.
If that's the case, then I think he's committed to us, and we need to be committed to him. I mean, when I've started shaping my list of who I think should be in the January camp, I've noted call him. I wrote really big next to it, call him.
But is he ahead of Julian Green? This is the important question.
Julian
and Zalem and Gideon Zalem.
Yeah. Oh God.
They're going to come up in a second here. Here's a conspiracy theory. If Osorio thinks that he might be the next manager of the U.S., does he not try to cap tie Jonathan Gonzalez so that he can have him at his next job? Is he thinking that far ahead? Probably not. That's probably reading way too much into it. But if I were him and Mexico were offering an invitation to play in the World Cup, I'd probably take it. Where will Christian Pulisic play his club soccer this fall?
Ooh. If he goes anywhere, I think he's going to Bayern. I mean, you could say Liverpool because there's always the Coutinho saga, and you know, Klopp brought him up. Presumably, then Klopp likes him and wants to continues to like what he sees. And hey, there's an opportunity for somebody there to fit in with the likes of Mo Salah and Firmino, whatever the fuck. Fucking Liverpool. But I just, to me, I could see where he fits there. I kind of see it as that there's a team that I can never remember how to say their name, Tottenham or something. That
they're like a mid-tier.
I think actually use him.
They're mid-tier.
I don't know. I don't even remember where they're from.
Yeah,
I could see where they. I could see where they could use him. You know, either one of those teams, I could see where he could fit in there. Having said that, you know, for his own development, for the U.S. development, like selfishly, whatever, I like the fact that so much of the weight of Dortmund is like of their future, of their day-to-day strength is based on him playing well.
It's a good comment, Alex.
You know, I don't want to see him go to Liverpool or Spurs and then become, you know, one of the guys who are awesome on that team.
If he goes to Bayern, are you now more a Bayern fan than you are a Dortmund fan?
No. I will remain a Pulisic fan, but no, I'm not switching allegiances like that.
Yeah, you're wrong. You're wrong, Chris.
When
usual.
When
Chris,
I pick a team, I stick with the team.
He's going to LAFC. Screw y'all. He's going to LAFC. No, I'm just kidding.
He's like Bob Bradley. I want you.
Nope. If he leaves, I think Liverpool. Spain's a nice idea, but God, the only place in Spain I think he would actually be effective would be. I think he gets lost at Madrid or Barcelona. I think Atletico he'd be perfect for personally, but other than
Atletico,
that,
I could see where he could replace like Griezmann, but otherwise, their style isn't flowing enough. I think for him.
No, it's too defensive.
But isn't what's his nuts leaving?
Maybe.
Supposedly, you know, if he were to go in and replace Griezmann, then, but is he? I think we like that he's not just a striker.
For me, he's got to go somewhere big if he's going to leave. I think he's in a great place. I think it's Bayern or Real Madrid. I don't even think Liverpool does it for me, but
I think, but Real Madrid, he's lost in the shuffle. I don't think
right, but you're taking a chance. Maybe he's not lost in the shuffle. Maybe
he's lost. He's lost in the shuffle at Real Madrid.
I think that's more likely than
because
not.
They don't develop players.
No, that's true. He's not. Right.
I think Apple Juice has it right. I think Apple Juice has it right. He's perfect for Barcelona in the sense of they actually do develop players, then take them to their next level. But I think it's Liverpool.
Well, they have. They don't anymore, but they have until kind of this generation.
I think it's Liverpool. Or I think they've
kind of stopped that, but I think Bayern's probably the most likely. I think at this point, Germany seems like he feels comfortable living there, and he's a star already. Why move to unfamiliar surroundings on top of it? And whatever. I've said all the reasons over and over why I don't want him to go. I think Bayern's probably the most likely place for him. We know their track record with grabbing
with
Dortmund
making
stars.
With Dortmund being their farm team, yes.
Yeah. Liverpool, it makes sense with Klopp and with the Coutinho thing, but I don't know. I don't want it. I don't like him going to Spurs or Liverpool for numerous personal reasons.
Can I just point out that I'm now drinking Coors, the banquet beer, which is the Chris Combs of beer. That's the Chris Combs of beer.
It is. A couple more. Will we see the following guys? Who are we most likely to see out of this bunch? Emerson Hyndman, Gideon Zelalem, Julian Green, or Keaton Parks?
Right now, I would say Keaton Parks.
Yeah.
He's the one leading in playing time at a top club. I mean, Hyndman is making the 18 a lot of the time, but he's not really making the field at Bournemouth again. So kind of all that goodwill that he gained, all that playing time and playing strength that he gained last spring at Rangers, kind of gone in terms of reaching the national team. It sucked that he got hurt when he did right at the end of the season there.
Wow. I'm truly fucking depressed
Julian
right now.
and Gideon, they got to get playing time at clubs that matter. It's like they keep dropping down and they're still not getting it. I kind of think they may be Freddie Adu's.
Pat, I got to say this is depressing as fuck. I agree with Chris completely. That just should never happen.
No, he's right.
Not nearly as fun. But Chris has got it spot on. It's Parks and then Hyndman after that. The other two, they got to play. Period.
Two more. Will we attend?
I will say one thing quickly here in the comments.
Go ahead.
Ivan, didn't Garber actually say he'd spend more money on Pulisic than he would for Messi? There's a certain extent to which I could understand him saying that. I mean, one, he is in the business of U.S. soccer, whether or not he is fully, exclusively or not. And the other being that Pulisic will still be playing in 5 years, whereas Messi probably won't. But I doubt he was saying it because, Pulisic's going to be better. Like, nobody's pretending that Pulisic is going to be Lionel Messi.
No, but from a marketability standpoint in the U.S.
Oh, speaking of which, I did buy tickets to Barcelona next week today. So,
when are you going to be gone? We probably don't need to.
I will be gone next week. I will not be here for shows anytime next week. I will be gone.
You will be at a Barcelona match at the new camp.
I will.
Bring me back a Tenerife jersey.
That doesn't suck. You'll have to put pictures up or something so everybody can see. Yeah. Speaking of attending matches, will we attend a men's national team match this year?
Nope.
Ooh.
No.
I'm thinking no.
No, it's sad.
It depends on where some might be.
We know they're going to be in Europe for the send-off.
Somehow there's, I assume they will be. If there's some way in which they play something in the second half of the year, like in Chicago, I'd probably go. I doubt I'm traveling much farther than that.
I'd say, what about Minneapolis or Kansas City? That'd be the only other places I would think.
Maybe about. Minneapolis.
I could
Kansas
see
City even. I mean, it's not a simple flight for me, and it's still like a 12-hour drive because there's no direct way really.
What's that? Kansas City?
Yeah.
Or Minneapolis, Chris?
I think there's going to be a cash grab U.S.-Mexico friendly sometime later in the year after the World Cup.
I think
we're due for one of those.
Yeah, but that'll be in Dallas or
It'll be
San
Dallas,
Antonio.
San
It'll be
Antonio,
Dallas, San
Phoenix.
Antonio, LA.
Yeah. So that'll be an option. I don't know that I'd do it, but
no. The answer no.
The final question has nothing to do with us, unfortunately. Who will win the World Cup?
My head says Germany, even though
that's a giant fucking head.
Even though it's hard to repeat, and Spain showed how hard it is to repeat, just to win like a World Cup and a Euro. So I struggle with it. I still have a feeling, like my heart kind of says Argentina always has a shot. I mean, this is Messi's last chance.
This is gonna be
maybe they'll put it together to support him. Maybe he will single-handedly will this one. If that happens, I mean, if he pulls something like Maradona in '86, it's Argentina.
I think it would be fun to see Argentina.
He just plays head and shoulders above everyone else. It'll be just like Argentina in '86, And if that happens, God, that would be an awesome World Cup to see.
It would be, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Can I just point out?
I have a feeling, Argentina's going to kind of do what Argentina does, and Brazil will want to make up for the last one. I don't feel like they have an especially strong team. Well, at least compared to some of the teams of the past. But presumably Neymar will be healthy this time, and he's only improved. So that is huge.
I think
he'll be more or less in his prime for it.
I keep sitting there thinking this World Cup screams for Italy to win, but they didn't fucking make it. So that said, France. Fuck y'all, France. It's gonna be the surrender. It's gonna be the surrender monkeys.
My other choice might actually be France.
The surrender monkeys are gonna win.
I think Spain is too old for what they've got. Their stars have all, like, this is their last chance, really. Their last final hurrah. France has some good players coming up. Like, there are guys you don't even think about, and then like you see him as like, oh shit, he plays for them too.
Yeah,
like he's coming in off the bench. Like, well, they got a strong team this time.
The first thing I always look at when I think of
even without Zidane, Vieira, or Henry out there.
When I look at who's I think will win, you always have to look at, you need to have a goalie. That to me is where it always starts. And that's where I look at Brazil and go, no. But I look at France, I go,
yeah.
Lloris, yeah, he's pretty damn good. And that's where I think Spain and Germany, they're good hands. I mean, so yeah, then that's why
Germany are hands if they lose their top keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got probably the first or second, number 1 or 2 in the world, and then number maybe 4 or 5 too.
Yeah.
And that's with France, with all the guy, like Chris said, the guys that you're going, whoa, they play for France too. And that's why I think France is. I think it's France's time, in that sense. And now my question for you two is, when England goes out, is it in a knockout round, and is it on a PK that lands in the 40th
I was just going to say penalties.
in the 40th row.
Can Harry Kane score them enough goals to actually do something?
It's a Vardy party. Screw that.
How
drunk on vodka
quickly, game. If Kane looks like Kane has over the last year at the World Cup, how quickly does he sign with Real Madrid?
Oh my God, heartbeat. Would he come back to his?
Has the World Cup finished by the time that he'll have signed the contract?
I doubt it. I hope he goes to his childhood club.
Hold on, I'm looking. Christian's got a good question. Well, that
would be the best move Arsene Wenger could make. It's a goodbye.
Christian's saying Mexico doesn't advance out of the group stage. Oh, I think it depends on their draw, but assuming they're not in the group.
Germany, Sweden, and who's the fourth? Somebody tell me.
What?
Mexico's in with Germany, Sweden, and I can't remember the fourth team in their group right now. Somebody will know. But it's a tough group. I don't think they will advance out of it. But they always do. They always play 4 games and lose. That's what Mexico does. So, Korea, yeah.
Does
Top
Zlatan come
Is it
play
top
for Sweden at the World Cup? Does he
He's
come
still-
back
Yeah.
just for that?
Is the Pope Catholic?
I don't know.
Is Ibrahimovic the Zlatan?
I think
Zlatan's
Germany's
fucking
favorite.
God. Of course he's going to play.
He thinks he is, at least. All right.
I hope he does.
What do you mean thinks?
I
Yes.
hope he does.
Zlatan is God. Anything else
I so
is
hope
wrong.
he does.
It was funny.
I mean, he's like Yaya Toure, where it's like he'll do nothing for like 89 minutes, and then he just like does this little kick, and it's like this wonder goal.
Mm-hmm. He stands there and looks at everybody.
Kind of similar, except like Zlatan does it more often. Yaya Toure, I think, let his ego get ahead of his talent for too long. Zlatan could kind of carry the ego too.
All right,
Probably when he was at Barca. But...
USfanTV.
So if Yaya and Zlatan did like a podcast together or did a show together, how awesome would that be?
Be better than this. You know, I gotta say though, guys, we're not the worst thing on YouTube because nobody has committed suicide on this show. So, like that one dude.
Ouch! That was dark.
Yeah. Did you see this?
Why so aggressive?
Like this.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
It's ridiculous. This is USfanTV. We do a show where we talk about soccer. We're gonna do them on Tuesdays. At
the mighty
10 p.m. Eastern. So the Thursday show that you've come to know and love, it wasn't really happening in December. It's not going to happen anymore unless we decide to do a bonus USfanTV, and then we'll do it whenever we want. But it might be Thursday, but it might be not be. So sign up for alerts, and then you'll know.
We will at least have some things coming up that could lead to secondary shows, like the USSF election, the January camp. Yeah, I'll have to leave my list of players with you guys to announce next week or something, maybe.
I have no idea who is going to be in that camp.
I've only noted MLS players so far. I do have quite a few. I will bring up one thing quickly. Maybe this will be my final question. Does Michael Bradley get a call up?
That's what...
Not because I think he deserves it, but because we are going so young, does he get brought in as sort of show these guys...
Right, and certainly better than... the bottom of the barrel that we're going to be calling in for Camp Cupcake. That's whatever you think of him.
I'm going to say yes, and I
think he'll be there. Yeah,
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to explain why. Toronto aren't they in the knockout stages of the CONCACAF Champions League?
Yes.
Warm up.
Yeah,
it's preseason camp, and I'm going to go on my MLS tangent a little bit here, but MLS, the reason why these teams get slaughtered when they get to the knockout stages is they can't come in early. Because of the collective bargaining agreement. This gives them the chance for Josie and Michael Bradley to get some reps prior to going to that. So I think both get called up. And I think both request to get called up.
Probably. I don't know if that's what I want, but
I didn't say it's what I want. I'm just saying that's what's going to happen.
All right. We have social media, the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram. You know this. I haven't done this in 2 weeks. I don't even remember what I say. I say something about the Craigslist and the secrets and the dark secrets, and then I say that we're on YouTube.
I'll fill you in on that one. Craigslist, if you know where to find it, it's where it is. But if you look close to where you find us on Craigslist, you'll find Chris's mom. So,
ooh, it's like the 90s.
Wow.
Every once in a while, it still works.
Mom jokes. Wow. We subscribe to the
Get
YouTube
off my mom. I just got off yours.
I can't even.
Dude, my mom's a bowling ball. Shut up.
All right. Do you people have final words? I'm done.
This is so bad. I think we need to be done.
We're done. Hope Solo for president.
All right. So I don't think we're doing a show Thursday unless we'll do an emergency show, guys, if there's big topics that come up, of course. Chris is in Spain watching Messi play in real life, which is better than doing a show next week, and then we'll figure it out from there. So maybe it'll be me and TJ. I don't know. It's a week away. I don't know. We'll see what's going on. Safe travels to Chris. Also, happy engagement to Chris, guys. He got engaged since you've last seen him.
Thank you.
Aw. Aw. All right.
Yeah. Aw. What the fuck? Is she nuts?
Yeah. All right, people
it's her
fighting.
birthday tonight too, so happy birthday.
It is. I know. I saw that on Facebook. I'm like, he's not going to want to do the show tonight, and he did. He did. So happy birthday, Lori. All right.
Happy birthday, Lori. No shit.
That's all. You're done.